Hey guys, it's me. I'm back. I'm making another World of Tanks review for you guys. I have another World of Tanks countdown planned and Minecraft Let's Play. And so yeah, it's pretty much what you have to look forward to in upcoming weeks or days. Anyway, that's that. Let's get started with the review. Today we're reviewing the VK 16.02, also known as the Leopard. I think that when I first looked at this vehicle, I dismissed it not as a bad tank, but a tank I didn't think I was gonna like. But after seeing the buffs that they're adding to the VK2801, noticing that it's actually gonna be a vehicle worth driving again, right off. So I'm bought back this Leopard to grind, and I realized this is actually a very good vehicle. And it does look pretty cute. It looks like an RC car. It's got the little radio and everything. So, 440 hit points. Pretty standard for a tier 5 light tank. It doesn't have as much health as the Chaffee, but that thing gets into tier 10 games. And it doesn't have as low health as the ELC. 21 tank with a almost 600 horsepower engine. That pulls it up to a 27 horsepower per ton. That's fast. And the traverse is not that good, but it's good enough to drive around and stuff. It's not like the FV304 that's ridiculously fast, but it turns so slow you can't act like a good aggressive scout or anything. It does help you relocate very well though. The speed limit's not that good though, 60 kilometers an hour, which is mainly what broke the deal for me when I looked at the nerfs of the VK 2801 and seeing how crap the stats were now that the speed is so low. Because that's what the VK 2801 was. It's fast, but still doesn't. But gets a better gun than the T50-2. The armor's actually pretty good for a light tank, but just like with the awful Panther, it's still not good enough to do any bouncing. Unless you're angling this frontal plate around the corner like that, where it's gonna bounce regardless, because it's basically at an auto-sloped angle. Even then, they're gonna just hit this and that. So it's not really worth angling this even then. The view range 380. It's pretty good view range. It's good enough to scout and do scouting like things. And the signal range is more than capable of spotting vehicles and relaying them to your allies. This is a good scout. And I actually don't know the camo fire very well, this thing. But I do know it is good, if not great. So this is a good scout. It can scout. All this is looking pretty standard for a light tank. Except for the gun. You got this crappy flak cannon, which is the Panzer 1C's. Not even the top gun the Panzer 1C gets. You get this 5cm gun, which is okay. But if you're driving this vehicle, you're one the 3cm autoloader. This thing spits out its entire clip in about 2-3 seconds, and it does roughly about 300 damage, give or take. And the penetration is great. It's more than capable of penetrating sides and rear of even tier 7s and 8s, and maybe some tier 9 vehicles. And it can even penetrate the front of some other vehicles, so this is a good penetration gun. The accuracy's crap, but it's an autoloader, so it's forgivable. And the aiming time is good, but it's the same as 5cm. This is a really unique gun. Most tier 5 and up light tanks get really crappy autoloaders, or they get starting to get proper 5cm 47mm guns. And that just fire really fast, like the 5cm gun that this thing also gets. All in all, I think this is a really good vehicle. for, basically because how fun it is to use that gun. And with high explosive shells, they only do like 3 damage to 7 damage to a target, but it is just so much fun to do like 150 damage or 100 damage with a full clip, or but since it's an autoloader, it just does like 75 damage or some shit, and it's so heavy tank drivers just get pissed off when no matter how well they know their armor, just does damage anyway because it's high explosive shells, even though they have a god awful 15 millimeters of penetration. I'm pretty sure it's the worst penetration in the game. I can't think of a vehicle with worse penetration than that. Mainly the reason why I don't load high explosive. It can even bounce off targets. It's so poorly penetratable with this gun. But it's a really fun gun to mess with. Equipment fit. Depending how you're gonna use this thing, if you're gonna be a good old passive scout, you want a camouflage net, binocs, and improved vents. If you're gonna be an aggressive scout, improved vents, coated optics, and either gunline drive or enhanced torsion bars. But either way, you're gonna want vents on this thing, because vents are awesome. And it's not like this thing can get a gun rammer. I wonder if you can mount a gun rammer if you have the 5cm gun. No, you can't. Just let me sell this module. Alright, crew training. Sixth Sense is a must-have. Designated target. Deadeye. Snapshot. Eagle Eye isn't a bad idea. Recon. Brothers in Arms. Camouflage. Standard scouting, crew training skills and stuff. Driver, off-road driving, smooth ride, clutch braking is a must-have on this vehicle. Radio operator, camouflage, brothers in arms, situational awareness, signal boosting, relaying, call for vengeance if you've already trained most other skills. Loader, just camouflage, brothers in arms, because there's no really good loader exclusive perks or skills. So yeah, that's pretty much the vehicle. It's a good vehicle, and it leads up to the VK-2801 up to the Indian Panzer, which is odd because most light tanks don't do this. The Jaffe dead ends. Now that I think about it, these things actually do enter mediums. And I guess that's how they used to be. Actually, now I look at these trees, none of them clip off except for the Jaffe. But that's because the Jaffe is basically just an old relic of the old light tanks. Those tier 5s that gone to tier 10 games. The Jaffe, the T50-2, and the old VK-2801. And then technically the ELC wasn't a tier 5 light tank. It's like the modern tier 5 light tanks. But since those didn't exist yet, people just called it they just called it a proper light tank because it kind of acted like one. It was probably balanced against the rest of them. Just got better matchmaking. Kind of like how the FCM50T works, because that thing is completely comparable to all the other tier 8 heavies or mediums favorably, but it gets special matchmaking even though it doesn't technically need it. So most light tanks used to get really bad matchmaking because they're top tiers. They have to be in the top tier game. Yeah. Also, the APCR ammunition on this thing. You know how I think of APCR ammunition. It's awesome. Most guns that have high penetration for their tier usually have to stick with a high explosive anti-tank for their premium ammunition. Or if you're an arty, they have to deal with high explosive anti-tank. Or if you're lucky, high explosive squash head. Unless the only arty or vehicle with a good gun that has high explosive anti-tank or doesn't have it. The only vehicle I know of that doesn't have high explosive tank that I think would go good with it is the Tier 10 British artillery. But even then, AP and APCR would be better because it could really use that type of ammunition for a gun like that in close quarters. I'm sidetracking. I guess I'm just gonna have to end this review. I hope you liked this review, guys. I guess I'll check you later. Bye.